Hey everyone, welcome to Ian and Friends Giro d'Italia edition. I am FloBikes Senior Editor Ian Dille.
And I am Michael Sheehan, Ian's friend. Today we are going to talk about stage 18 of the Giro d'Italia. We got ourselves a bike race.
The day the breakaway went away and Yates got dropped.
Yes, a lot of excitement happened, and honestly one of the more innocuous looking mountaintop finishes of the entire tour. It was, big day. First off, we had a big breakaway, and they actually succeeded.
Yeah, I feel like after yesterday's stage, which averaged almost 29 miles per hour for 100 miles, everybody was like, we're taking a break until we get to the mountain. We'll race up the mountain fine. But they let the breakaway out to 15 minutes. So the first 100 plus miles, 15 miles of this stage were not a parade, but just a procession through the plains of Lombardy, and then on to the mountain. And it was an exciting. We got two races in one.
Yeah, first off, breakaway obviously hit it with a very solid advantage. They looked like they were going to make it to the finish no problem, and of course they did. Fantastic ride by stage winner Mr. Shachmann. He was in the Young Riders jersey at the beginning of the Giro. He's now fifth in that competition. He's not going to make it back to the Young Rider podium, but what a ride by this up-and-comer.
Yeah, it was interesting seeing the dynamics of how the race played out for the GC versus the break. Because they had 15 minutes, it was a real cat and mouse game up the mountain. They were attacking each other from like 8K out, and it would just be full on, and then they'd sit up and start weaving across the road. Guys would start coming back on, and then they'd go again. But yeah, Shachmann, obviously someone to watch in the future. This is a guy that won a stage at Catalunya. He was 8th at Flèche Wallonne. And also Israel Cycling Academy up in there, they almost stole one today.
This is something I've been looking forward to talking to. You know, we mentioned Israel Cycling Academy. They've kind of been a sleepy pro-Conti team in this race since the race got to Italy. They were really, really active, of course, in Israel the first 3 days. Haven't seen much of them, but they are coming out in force in the third week. I really do think that they kind of kept their powder dry for this third and final week of the Giro. And Ruben Plaza, he almost stole it. He was hanging on for dear life for the last 5K of this climb, just yo-yoing off the back. And he made a big push in the final K and came in second. This is only the second time a professional continental team has been on the podium this entire tour, so that is a huge result for the Israel Cycling Academy, and it really justifies their whole bid to even be in this race.
Yeah, and Ruben Plaza is no slouch. This is a guy that won a stage of the Tour de France in 2015 over Peter Sagan. So he certainly can ride a Grand Tour, win a stage at a Grand Tour, and it was really impressive to see how deep he dug. He kept getting dropped, coming back on to Shachmann, getting dropped again, and in the end it was a sprint. I mean, Shachmann, those last 400 meters kind of just blew everyone out of the water.
Really brave ride. We have to mention Mattia Cattaneo. He, for Androni Giaccoli, he put in probably 5 attacks on Max Shachmann in the last 2K, and tenacity did not pay off, kind of blew up before the finish, but still rolled in for a very respectable third place. So it was a great day for the professional continental teams.
Yeah, and then behind the GC battle, which was like 10 minutes further down the mountain, there was this incredible domino effect where it was, I think, Pello Bilbao set off the fireworks, and then, Ben O'Connor is chasing him. Wout Pauls goes up the road. All these guys that are lower down on the classification start going where it's like 9 goes and 8 has to chase 9. And next thing you know, Carapaz is attacking, and then so of course his battle for the white jersey with Lopez goes up the road.
Yeah, it showed an impressive feat of strength. Lopez ended up, after that attack, did not even get caught by the rest of the favorites. He just dusted Carapaz and just forged on to a really solid ride by that young rider.
Yeah, and then Dumoulin, I feel like I suggested that he attack today.
Credit where credit's due. Ian called it.
Obviously a fan of the show. But he put in...
He said, that's a good idea, Ian. I think I will attack.
He put in a really strong dig, and Pozzovivo and Yates went with him. He wasn't able to shake them on the first time, but what that did was set up Chris Froome for one of the more ferocious attacks we've seen Chris Froome
He
make.
got out of the saddle. It was an impressive display of athleticism by Chris Froome. Yeah, usually we see him just like wind up the cadence and just drop everybody, but Froome put in a really, really tactical attack when Tom Dumoulin got brought back. And this is really kind of what set up Adam Yates to have a bad day.
Yeah, what was impressive was, Pozzovivo had to chase Froome because they're close to each other on GC, so Pozzovivo is trying to protect his podium place. Dumoulin was able to stay with that counter, and he was the only one who was able to stay with that counter. Go up to Froome. You knew Sky was up to something when they sent Wout Poels up the road. He's probably not riding for his own GC ambitions, so they catch Wout Poels. Wout Poels starts pulling them, ends up taking a wrong turn, which...
Wout accidentally went in the caravan deviation. When you get to the top, all the motorcycles and cars have to pull off, and he thought that was the way he was supposed to go.
I like your take that it was the flatter route, so he decided
I would have gone left too. That looked way easier.
But yeah, Yates was human. When you saw Yates coming off the back of that group, and then also coming off the back of the Carapaz group, and eventually getting caught by his teammate Mikel Nieve, who'd been working all day, working from the base of the climb. It was impressive. I don't know if it's impressive, but he showed humanity. He is not a machine.
This is the first chink in Simon Yates' armor that we have seen this entire tour, and after the time trial, I seriously thought that Simon Yates was going to win this Giro d'Italia, but today he showed fatigue, he showed his humanity. We've got ourselves a bike race. The next 2 days in the mountains are going to be really telling because this is a terrible time for Simon Yates to get tired.
Yeah, I mean, losing 30 seconds on a summit finish like this isn't the end of the world, but going into 2 more stages with summit finishes, especially tomorrow's stage, it's definitely not a confidence booster for him, and certainly a consummate confidence booster for Froome and Dumoulin.
Yeah, we'll see where the cards fall tomorrow. What are we looking at tomorrow? Tomorrow's going to be an epic.
Yeah, we've been talking about this stage for weeks now, the Col del Finestre, and it's this huge climb, 45 switchbacks, 10% gradient all the way up, the highest climb in all of the Giro d'Italia, over 7,000 feet in elevation. It is going to be a monster, and then there's still 2 more climbs to go after that, the Sestriere and the Jaffreux.
Yeah, and personally my favorite part about the Finestre is that it's an 18-kilometer long climb. The second half of it is all off the pavement. It's all on gravel roads. It is going to be really a breathtaking spectacle. Obviously going to be very, very decisive in the battle for the GC, but you are going to be treated to some really amazing views of just the Alps in Italy. Yeah, they are going to be on top of the world.
The window to the world is what they call it in Italy, the top of this mountain. So yeah, it's going to be spectacular. I would say the grades don't necessarily suit Dumoulin. They are much steeper pitches, around 10%, but you never know. From what we saw today, certainly anything can happen. There's only 28 seconds separating first and second place.
Yes, and the Finestre is the highest point of the Giro d'Italia. We may see a breakaway take the crest it first. There is a prize, the Cima Coppi prize, at the top of that, the first rider to crest it. Then we're going to see them descend, go pretty much right back up another Cat 3 climb, getting up again above 2,000 meters. And then the final climb of the day is going to be brutal as well.
Yeah, it's not insanely long. It's only 7 kilometers, but 10% gradients. There's a pitch at 14%, and then the last kilometer is one of the steepest parts of the whole climb, 12% gradient. So it is definitely going to be a battle to the finish of this climb tomorrow.
Yeah, and it is a Category 1 climb, so one of the harder ones out there. It's going to be a really grippy, decisive day. The last half of it is just going to be gloves off. I think we're going to see some serious GC shakeups.
Yeah. We will see you guys tomorrow for stage 19 of the Giro.
Going to be a good one. Thanks for joining.